It's live now. Let me YouTube dashboard thing here. There we go. Share. I'm gonna share it on my Discord server as well, obviously. Okay, and this is the channel. This is Box's channel right here for everyone that's seeing that. Everyone that's coming in now. 3173 Rocky. That's Box's channel. That's who I'm going to be talking to. I'm also going to be talking to someone else. I'm not sure what you want me to refer you to you as. So you could. Just... Okay, Spec. Okay, cool. Okay, I didn't know if you didn't want me to say that name or not. But I'm going to be talking to them as well. Box's channel. I'm literally gonna copy and paste it right here into chat, and it's gonna be like pinned there. So if you guys want to check out that channel, some of the stuff that's said here will probably end up as a video on that channel.
Yeah.
I'll just say it, and then I'll pin it. Pin message. Also, we're in the 18+ server, 18+ English server. If anyone's asking, that's where this is.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull up YouTube.
Hey, Amy, Mr. Dollar Tree, all of you showing up here.
So I can see the comments down here. Yes. There. So
all right. So, one of the things that we're gonna talk a lot about, like the things are different video that I did recently, posted on April 14th, and stuff like that. We're probably gonna pull up some comments and all kinds of other stuff and just kind of talk about it in general. Also, Box just poofed away. They died.
My thing just lagged out. But yes, that's what I wanted to talk to Danny about, because I did notice a lot of it kind of did gloss over some things, which is understandable. You have a limited amount of time to see the video, do the video. So I wanted to go more in.
A lot of that video, like I told you this before as well, but I scripted it out and stuff like that. But a lot of it was just like raw thoughts and stuff like that. I didn't really like do like a second draft or anything, because I wanted it to be more raw, because it was like more of my actual feelings at the time and stuff. Because like I don't know, it's a lot has changed even outside of just like Ponytown and stuff like that. That like view wise and everything else, like there's just been a lot going on,
which is one of the things I wanted to talk about on the thing. I noticed that a number of times you mentioned that a lot was going on within your life, which is understandable, because if you are going through a lot, there is obviously reasons for you not wanting to do Ponytown videos and instead focusing on your life. But another thing I noticed is when you mentioned Ponytown, you mentioned that when that happened, you got the views for you. And I've noticed this for a lot of YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers start out wanting to do it for the views.
Well, I didn't necessarily do it for the views. Like, that was obviously a big thing of it, is like now, like, because I just wanted to get my content out to as many people as possible so that I could get that creative outlet and make as many people as possible happy. And since once I did Ponytown, that took off, I was like, I'll just do more of that for now, because more people are seeing that, more people care about that. So it's going to make more people happy, at least in theory.
Which is understandable, but you also have to do things for yourself as a YouTuber.
Yes.
If you do something over and over again that does not entertain you, I said this to Spec when we were talking. It's like lighting a candle on two ends. On one end, you have, I didn't enjoy recording this, and then you light it at the bottom where it's like, I have to edit this, I have to go through this, and I have to watch it all over again, and it's not something I enjoy watching. You're lighting it from both ends, and suddenly there's no candle.
Yeah, exactly. And you, a lot of people, I don't know if people noticed it or not, but like lately, like for the past fucking hell, like like a month or two, a few months or something, a lot of other content has been kind of coming in as well. Stuff like I did like a review on Bluey and stuff like that. I started sharing more of my short stories and stuff like that, because that's obviously like one of the things I love more than anything is my writing and stuff. I did a few things with AI and stuff like that that I thought might have been kind of funny. There was still lots of like, even just a few months ago, there were still lots of ideas that I had for Ponytown, such as like Ponytown lore in strange places, or like HD Ponytown, and like just all those kinds of random stuff like that. But there was also Monster Hunter's been showing up a few times lately. I did a couple of Minecraft things. I kind of did the Minecraft and Ponytown combined thing, where I went and asked people for 3 different random blocks and then built something based on those, like using those blocks. Like I did more Generation 5 videos and stuff like that. This week alone, I talked a little bit about Generation 4 and like episode ideas that I never got to do, because I did those like many years ago, and then I just kind of got busy with other Ponytown videos, I guess. But like that's what I've been doing a lot lately, is trying to like broaden it out more, spread it out more.
I have noticed that, and I will admit, because I talk about this to people when I see videos, because I like to go. Everyone knows I like to go in depth on videos. I like to there is glossing the surface, and then there's what I do, which is I take a damn shovel and I dig as deep as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed this with a lot of videos. You tend to not get, when it comes to certain videos, you don't seem to be like completely there. And then there's other videos where you actually seem excited, like reading the stories, reading the things, which is completely understandable. If Ponytown has become a labor, which I've talked to a lot of people and they say it has become a labor, so they take long hiatuses. I even took a hiatus from Ponytown for a very good while.
Well, there was a time like last year, like like November-ish, something around that time. Like once I kind of slowed down on the Ponytown stuff, like that big thing that happened to me in my personal life happened, and I did take a big break from that. That's why I'm not listed as like a tester anymore. I'm listed as like previous testers or whatever like that. I forget how they did it, but like I'm still a tester, but I'm not at the same time. I'm not officially a tester, I guess is how you say it. And the reason why is because of that personal stuff that happened. So I wasn't really able to do that or Ponytown for a while. And so I kind of took a hiatus myself a little bit, just not in the way that people might have expected or like realize.
Which is understandable. Taking a hiatus can help improve your focus, can help improve your mental health, and it's exactly what people need. But a lot of people, even species leads that I've talked to, have needed to take longer hiatuses just so they can get back into that thing. And when I look at the video, I also notice when you say that a lot of things have changed. There have been a lot of things that changed in the community quite quickly, which could have been while you were on hiatus. One, the PT devs started taking down minors off the server, which minors are a lot more likely to, when you come up to them, just randomly start conversations, randomly start things, randomly do that. While adults, which is mostly what's on the server now, prefer to be in their little groups. Another thing you could do with that little thing you mentioned, people not being open to talking, is if someone is in a group, whisper them, say, hey, would you be willing to do this? Or even on your server, message people and be like, hey, yes, it's kind of scripted, but a lot more YouTube is being scripted because not a lot of people are wanting to do random things. A lot more YouTube is having to be scripted, having to have a script there to talk about, and have people that are in the script that'll talk to you, even if it's just saying, hey, I need you to be active at this time so that I'll come around and see you, and you can get to be a part of the video.
All right, sorry. Before I respond, Bandit, is that better? I turned up the desktop audio, so let's see if is that better for you? Because they were saying they can't understand what they're saying, and they were talking about you, saying they can't quite hear you. They they have their volume on max and can't hear you. I've turned you up on Discord like almost max as well. So if I can turn up the desktop audio a little bit better, but is that like better volume now?
If you want, I could lean back onto my mic because my mic is behind me.
Oh, why is the mic behind you?
Because it's the only table I have. As I said, I'm in a
Oh,
closet.
yeah.
My computer is sitting on a box of books.
Um, I'll just go ahead and respond to that. I guess is like shit. Fuck. What did you say? What were you just talking about?
Having people
Oh
having
yeah, the
people
scripted stuff.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Dovercraft said volume is good now. Quirky mic setup. Most of my videos are not scripted. Only some of them are. I literally have like the document like right here, like of like whenever I script out videos, I have the whole document right here. Like some of them are even for the VR channel, so you can ignore some of them. But like this document is only 148 pages or 184 pages long, so I don't script a lot of my videos. Like the fortune teller ones, I don't script those. I don't script. I definitely don't script the bad games because that's like a competition, and I hate to do anything like that.
Which is fair.
Like I do have a role in my server as well called the waiting list role. You can request it, and I ping that role whenever I need someone for a video, whether it be like, hey, I need people for a bad games episode or something like that, or if I'm doing some other random thing, I can just say, hey, waiting list, I need some people for a video. Who wants to come on and help me for it or whatever like that, and then I'll give more information or whatever as needed. But a lot of that stuff I also don't like to script as well, because like the fortune teller ones or like Skella in the Streets, I hate to script those because the funny part of it is that it's completely random and you don't know what to expect, and you just get the hilarious moments out of it. But you are kind of right. I have been leaning towards that lately as like as an option, especially since there was those the Ponies 404 series that I wanted to do. It was going to be somewhat scripted, and like these other like those other stories and stuff like that I wanted to do. Even Camp Bad Place was going to be slightly scripted. The main thing is being like the competition not being scripted, so that we could do a story within like the background and everything. But like I've wanted to do that, but the problem I've always had is like scheduling issues, and you know that too because you were in Camp Bad Place and stuff like that. Like scheduling is really difficult when it comes to like more plot driven stuff, which is what I want to do. But at the same time, like every time I go to like do a plot of some kind, and then it just ends up falling apart in some way.
The thing about that is sometimes you don't tell people that things are scripted. I can contest to this because I was part of the 404 series and I was part of the Bad Place. I knew that the 404 series was going to be semi-scripted because we worked together and tried to do the RP on it.
Yeah.
But when it came to Camp Bad Place, I don't know if anyone but maybe Damien and Wild knew that it was going to be scripted because none of us really knew it was going to be scripted.
The scripted parts were the story parts, and it was season 2 where we were doing more story stuff. Season 1 we didn't really do any story stuff. Certain things kind of lined up in a way, but season 2 specifically is where we were starting to introduce story and stuff like that. Were you in season 2?
Yes, I was.
You were in season 2. Yes, yeah.
I did not know. I did not. I don't think anyone other than Damien and Wild knew we were scripting things because when you said that on your other videos, I literally went, "Where was the scripting?"
Let me see if I can find some announcements here. Gucci server, usual meetup spot. I could have sworn like we may have talked about it on VC at like as each recording happened, but I don't know if I did ever say anything like in the like announcements or general or anything like that. I could have sworn I did though, because I feel like I remember saying who wants to be the insane one next episode or something like that.
Yes, that's when things started. I do remember that, and I remember offering, but that's when but that was near the end. Usually when it comes to scripting things, you want to tell everyone that you're going to script it ahead of time so that everyone can be prepared, like, hey, this is going to go weird, this is gonna go sideways. And yes, the game shouldn't be scripted, but
Yeah.
overall, you should have people knowing how they need to respond and things. How certain characters need to respond to things, because if a character don't if a person doesn't know how to respond, that can obviously make things fall apart. And I do remember that the Camp Bad Place Camp Bad Place 2, the main reason the scheduling went apart is because, well, it started to fall apart because I had to take a week off because my cat had died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then all the scheduling issues started.
Um. Okay. I found where people were talking about it being like a scripted thing. Uh. That asked, is it like script, or you're gonna read, or we just say hi thing? I think this was when we were doing like the Meet the Campers video, but we ended up not doing it. Um, that's weird though. I could have sworn like we talked about it though. Again, like some of the stuff would have been in VC, like in the recordings of each episode and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, right here in my announcement, I found the announcement here. Um, we have a full set of campers, which means we can move into the next hurdle, which is scheduling and stuff like that. And I said this season we are going to try and have bits of storytelling, so I need as many of you as possible to be on board with recording skits before or after each episode recording. Some of the story we are going to face in the first episode, we are going to be missing 3 campers. And then we scripted the whole thing of like Blackwood's going to be resurrected as a ghost. In doing so, Damien will be also summoned because that's just how it works for some reason. And then someone, preferably Lavender's home, will just wander out of the woods, and we're just going to snag them and be forced onto the show as the final missing camper. And so that was kind of like before even the first episode. We did kind of script it out. I can see why you wouldn't remember that though, because it was so long ago, and we probably didn't talk a lot about it throughout the series and stuff like that. Because what it was is like we would do it like either at the beginning of the episode or after the episode, and then those were going to be the story elements, and then everything else is just going to be full like whatever.
Yeah, I found that it's I think it was that that happened so early on, everyone seemed to forget it.
Yeah, probably that could have been another thing of it too.
Because everything just seemed to slip around. Because we were all, it was during school for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Well, we started right before schooling happened because where our plan was, or at least my plan for season 2, was to get multiple episodes done. I think we even attempted to do 2 episodes in a row once, but we couldn't. And we were going to try and finish it before the thing happened, and I was going to release it like the first episode once like the 3rd episode was done or whatever like that, and then slowly introduce them week by week. But it kind of just ended up working out, and I ended up just doing it because we had like a 2 or 3 week buffer anyway, and then I released the first episode, and then we weren't able to get the 3rd episode ever.
I don't think we ever got to the 3rd.
No, we didn't.
Episode.
We didn't. We got 2 episodes out of that. And it was always just a handful of different people, like just different people usually that just couldn't make it.
And the main reason I think everyone forgot about it is because at one point, me, Damien, Wild, and a few others just decided, hey, we're just gonna purposely fail because we keep wanting to go to the prison, and and maybe our characters would be more comfortable in institutes. And then we kept building up and building up. At one point, we had a cafe in the prison.
Oh, I can't go to it right now because I'm right here, but I do have the map still. It's wacky. But yeah, that's what it was. Is like even if their team won, they would still just go to the prison because they just loved it for some reason. And they kept customizing it and stuff like that. Yeah,
yes,
Elizabeth,
we did. We kept customizing it, and it was very nice. It was a comfy prison. I made a cafe.
Yeah, I remember.
But let me look back at my notes. I know another thing. Let's see if I can find. I wanted to ask why you felt people were different in Ponytown because yes, they have evolved, but I feel like it's not that they're different; it's that people have evolved to be more, uh, like just generally in their groups.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that might have been part of it, is because of like trying to record Skella in the streets and like the fortune teller Skella and stuff like that, and just continuously running into people that either just straight up ignored me or were maybe AFK. I don't know which one it could have been, but either just being intentionally ignored or they just take like the most real answer, if that makes sense. Like you ask, why is a horseshoe in my microwave? They would just say, why is a horseshoe in your microwave? I don't know. And stuff like that. Whereas it used to be a little bit different. People would play along with it. And that's how I got the Skell on the Streets videos out, because people would play along with it, or they would have a very hilarious reaction. Even like some super older videos, like I mentioned in the video, um, when I stole wings. It only took a couple of minutes before this dude was just like immediately on board, and we had a whole like anime battle that just came out of nowhere, and it was really fun. But nowadays, whenever I try any of that stuff, it doesn't work because people are either, I guess, annoyed by me or any other number of reason. Um, and sometimes it's because there's like a huge group of people together, and I can't just go up to them and interact with all of them at once because they're doing their own thing, and I can't be that big of a bother to them. And I can't do anything near docks because that's always an issue.
Oh yeah, you can't
Yeah,
do
like
anything at docks. I want to
yeah,
blatantly say that.
that's
That was literally one of my points.
yeah,
Docks is a cesspool of arguing,
exactly.
debates,
It
and really weird advertising.
it used to be like Spawn that was really bad, but it kind of moved to docks. I think there's still some of it at Spawn, but I don't really ever go up there. But
No, Spawn has become the calm place, and Docks has become the cesspool. I noticed. I was
it's
actually
weird,
part of this.
right?
I was actually a part of this part. I can tell you why it's done this because a little low-known thing and this is probably gonna become well known now. I tend to sneak around the server, catch people that are doing wrong, and report them. And I stayed at spawn for over 2 months before things started to calm down. And now it has gone down to docks, and but there's always so much stuff going on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pinpoint what is real and what is not because no one ever wants. Whenever I whisper people asking for proof of evidence,
Mm-hmm.
they will not send it to me. The only time I've ever really gotten evidence there is when I literally performed a sting operation.
I can attest when it comes to evidence, because people have even messaged me saying certain things about certain people or whatever else like that, and I'm like, well, do you have proof? Just if you have proof,
1 second.
block them, uh, get their name in your hiddens list, and then give it to the devs. Make a thing or whatever like that. Email them, message them, and stuff like that, and say, hey, this person did so and so. Here is their name in my hiddens list. Here's my account number, and here's like the evidence. Just give them that evidence and tell them what's going on, and then they'll take care of it. Um, and then a lot of the times they won't do it for some reason. And so it makes me just assume that like either they're lying or they're scared to do that for some reason.
People, what I've discovered in my time of kind of semi moderating with my server and helping people out throughout Ponytown, uh, is people do not want to actually. People want to make accusations with the little evidence they have, like the very little minuscule evidence they have,
Yeah.
and they don't understand that just with those little screenshots and everything. I've even been going through this recently with someone on the server who had to be banned because they wouldn't listen. They will take the smallest screenshots out of context, the smallest things out of context, and will make an entire document and not understand that that document it proves nothing. It's kind of like
Yeah.
something. Since people are here, I'll say it. I'll just say this blatantly. It's like something's been happening with Pink Lumen. Everyone assumes he is a predator and did things, but they don't understand is that people have taken those screenshots out of context. And at the time he was accused, this man was 17. He was a minor.
Yeah, he was I believe he was like 16 or 17 when he was even a mod, wasn't he?
Yes, he was a
Yeah.
minor when he was accused, so that it doesn't make sense. And he was dating another minor that was, I
Mm-hmm.
think, 1 year younger than him. Maybe only a couple months actually, if I'm remembering correctly. But people will take small screens, small things like that, and they see someone has a high roll, and they take it and say, "Oh, so this must be an adult doing something." Pink is younger than me, and I'm
Yeah.
21.
Yeah. I'm a few years older than you as well. I'm not gonna specify my age specifically. I think a lot of people probably know it, but like I'm even older than you guys. But like I don't know how old the devs are. I don't know how old like Steven is. But there was that whole thing like several probably a year or two ago now, where people called him a pedophile because he refused to ban someone based on the accusation that someone else is a pedophile. The person just said, "Oh, this person's a pedo. Ban them." They didn't give any information. They didn't provide any evidence or anything like that, and so there was nothing that the devs or any mod could do because like you can't just say something and then just like there's no evidence. You can't just assume something. And so when people started defending Steuben and the mods and devs, everyone that defended the mods and devs in that situation ended up also being labeled a pedophile, even though that's not true. Like that was something that that really like upset me so much. And then I started seeing documents and shit like that where they're like, "Oh, it's proof that it was," and stuff like that. It's like, well, not no. Your proof is that he wouldn't take action on something without any proof.
The
You just
thing
can't do
about
that.
that is, people expect. Okay, so people expect the devs. I don't. This is another thing that irritates me. People expect the devs to take action. The
Mm-hmm.
devs aren't the moderators. They don't take action on that. The moderators
Yeah.
take action. And then, and like I went over, I have a video of this about the ponytown moderation.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is, we only have 2 moderators per server. And yes, we have new minor moderators, but it takes, I think I talked to Indu about this, it takes a number of weeks for them to go through people and make sure that they won't abuse the moderation system.
Yeah.
And for that, it takes a good amount of time. And people keep saying that they should just upload everything. Not upload everything, just hire someone on the spot to take care of things. And that
Yeah.
won't work.
You can't do that. That's like
Yeah, you would just be hiring abusers.
that's like
People that would
hiring
abuse the
some
system.
random guy as manager of your restaurant or something, and then like you can't just do that because you might screw over your restaurant. Like if they don't have any qualifications, it's kind of the same thing. You can't just hire random people for certain stuff.
Exactly. You have to make sure. A person said there's strip clubs and sex dungeons. Well, this is an 18
It is
plus
the 18
server.
plus server to be fair.
To be fair,
Those usually aren't that bad anyway. I haven't been in any sex dungeons, but strip clubs. It's usually just people like circling a pole for several hours for some reason.
hear me out.
And people
What
hanging
is
out by
sexy
like a
about
bar.
pixels? What is sexy about
I don't
pixels?
know. I don't know. It's weird, but uh, back to the other thing earlier. I used to be able to hang out at docks and just watch people and just kind of relax or vibe and look for species that are like advertising or role plays that are advertising or any of this other stuff. Sure, you might still find roleplay advertisements, but now, after all this time, for some reason, now it's mostly this discourse, which I guess makes sense because they moved from Spawn to Docs.
Docs is time based. This is what I'll tell you because I've been doing research into docs. Docs is time based. There is a certain time of day where certain time is all the roleplay advertisements. Another time sorry, someone made me laugh. Another time is where the discourse happens. Another time is where all the weird stuff starts happening. It's all time based. For some reason, Docs is literally time based over everything.
They
I
got
don't know why. It's like people know exactly what time they want to get on and start discourse.
they got their annual discourse meeting. Oh, we gotta be there at 3 p.m. I get what you mean because I have gone on before and like everything is totally fine, and then like an hour later, it's just completely overrun by just the most random uh, thing. And I have seen some very ridiculous arguments. Like I mentioned, like the condiment thing, but there's some ridiculous like stuff that people argue about at docs, and a lot of the times it's opinion based, and a lot of the times it's just a little bit too political.
A lot of times things do get political, and it is uncomfortable. But
Yeah,
unfortunately, this was another point I had. Uh, this right now, the game has no. This is not a real game. It's a chat system
yeah,
because we do not
it's
have any game functions just yet.
yeah.
So it is mostly a chat room with
Hmm.
cool pony avatars and stuff. We cannot do much but chat, and obviously, when you chat, eventually you're gonna get into your weird stuff that has a lot of discourse.
Hmm. Like
And
religions and
yes,
politics and just like stuff that's sort of in between and stuff that's like almost politics but not quite. Like there's yeah.
eventually you're gonna get into that stuff, and it's unfortunate, but the best thing you can do for that stuff is mute people until everything is ready to be chill out. Nope, nope, nope. Go away. Go away. Hang on, one person.
What's happening?
Hiding the. Don't worry about it. Just hide them. Uh,
What?
it's just something that's been going on in the server that we're trying to ignore.
Oh, okay,
Ignore that
okay. I
person.
got you. I got you. I got you. Okay.
Uh,
You can tell me about it
but
later or
a
something
lot
if
of
you want to. It don't matter.
it's more personal.
Okay,
Just
yeah,
hide them,
it's
spec.
fine. It's
Ignore
fine.
them. But we have been. Look at my other points. I forget all my points all the time. 'Cause I'm
Happy
terrible.
birthday, Moon might be in cover. Early birthday, anyway. Dover
It
Crown.
seems okay from my watching of the video. A lot of times you bring up that Ponytown has become a place.
Huh?
Uh, Ponytown can coming. You mentioned Ponytown has become a place you just don't feel comfortable in, which is understandable. A lot of people leave games because suddenly they don't feel comfortable being in a space that has become
Mm-hmm.
kind of more. It's basically evolved from being just a place where people can goof off to being more chat room like, which I think is what it's going to be until there is the
Yeah,
mini games,
until there is mini games, yeah.
until there is mini games,
There-
until there's all the different stuff. And yes, as this person, as a doc representative, it's hit or miss. Yes, docs is a hit or miss place. You
yeah.
either get toxic or you get actually decent people. But also, the people that you wanted to do those games with are probably mostly on the PG server now, because PG server you can go. I know from people who are stuck on the PG server, you can just go up to anyone and be like, "Hey, here's this. Let's do something," and they will literally just start having boop wars.
Yeah, that was another thing too. Like you could go back to some of the oldest videos and like I'll just be doing some random thing and I'll just suddenly be dancing with some totally random guy or like in a boop war with some random guy. The problem with doing anything on the safe server, at least for me, is that that also can create some issues where I'm interacting with too many kids and that can come off
Yeah,
weird. You know how the community is. We mentioned that a minute ago, where it feels like it's very easy to be labeled a pedophile in this game, which is another reason why it's slowly become more uncomfortable for me, because obviously I'm getting older and older, and it's going to be more and more likely that that's going to start being more and more at me. Um, and like if I
is
do that on the safe server all the time, that's going to start looking really weird, and it makes me feel weird to go on the safe server because of that.
which is understandable, but it's also so annoying that I've seen this because I have old I stick around in the species community, and there's people who because they have had being minors, even though they're not minors, got stuck on the safe server or just enjoy the safe server a lot more because it's a lot more open,
Mm-hmm.
and they get labeled as pedos because they don't want to go on the PG as the 18 plus server because it's a lot more quiet and a lot less have a lot less has a lot less RPs and stuff. And it's so annoying that people can't just be on servers anymore without being labeled as something,
Yeah.
because safe servers are have where all the good RPs are, all the good all the decent people that will actually just like start doing random stuff whenever you if you try to record a video,
Mm-hmm.
and they're more open to doing that. It's because I think the reason the 18 plus doesn't do it is because most of them are adults who are RPing with other adults and are
Mm-hmm.
focused on that, or just like you said, AFKing and doing something in the background,
Yeah.
or are working on something in or advertising themselves. Because now in the 18 plus server, uh, I know it was older that you could just name yourself as something and people would freak out or immediately do it. Nowadays, you cannot just name yourself on the 18 plus server at least. You cannot just name yourself as something and everyone will view it. I did a test on this theory. It's very rare that people will actually hover over your name anymore, and they will just come up to you if your creature looks interesting. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've had to completely change up my style just so I can talk to people, because if not, they don't see your character as interesting. They think, for some reason, there's a mindset that if your character is plain, you are probably a kid.
Yeah. I've
Don't know
gotten that
about that.
before too. I mean, I've changed Skella like since I originally made them, especially as more cosmetics and stuff has come out. I actually might change Skella's main a little bit too because they added those new mains and stuff. But I got that a lot like when I was like more new at it because Skella is. I mean, even now she's still pretty simple. But I feel like because it's Skella and people associate that with me and people might recognize me, it's not quite as bad. But people used to kind of just I don't know, kind of look down on me in a way because my character was so simple. I actually used to be made fun of for that sometimes, where they would just make fun of my character for being simple or whatever like that. I was like, I don't care. Like, it didn't bother me, but um, I eventually kind of slowly changed Skella probably because of that. Yeah, Damien,
I
that's Box.
Hi, Damien. Uh, I had to change up my style completely because too many people. Because I used to have a very flat style, but
Mm-hmm.
they started thinking I was a kid on the 18 plus server. So I started using a lot. I started researching, and now I use a lot of shading on my characters.
Yeah, that's
And
how
it
Skella was is really flat.
it's so weird that because you don't use shading, suddenly your character isn't you aren't an adult.
Yeah.
It I will admit the community has shifted, but it's shifting in a weird way. Like there's still good people out there. There are still people that will.
Sorry, I'm laughing because Dovacraft just said in chat someone thought I was racist because the character I had was slightly different shaded color than what they wanted.
Oh my god, that is I hate that stupid. I
Yeah,
the
it's
it
bad, but it's
happens so
funny.
much because it happens so much that people don't understand that some skin tones are hard to understand
Yeah,
and you can't get them properly.
I honestly I'm kind of surprised I haven't been called like racist or anything like that because of like the human version of Skella. Someone drew the character and they had like I don't know if it was intentional when they drew the character, but the character looked like they were half black, if that makes sense. And I loved that. I love that design. So that's kind of like the design I try to go for whenever I do like a human Skella, is make them like slightly darker skinned, like where they're half black. I just love that. I think it looks great on that character, and I'm surprised I haven't been called racist for that.
Oh, I don't even want to get into the Wendigo debate. Oh, I don't want to get in the Wendigo debate, Damien.
Yeah. Yeah, I've I've seen that. Jamie has told me about it before.
I have an Indian heritage, so I don't
Yeah.
understand it, but I have Indian heritage.
Mhm.
And I don't understand why why using a Wendigo, which is not just from Indian heritage. Wendigos are actually from many different lores. They were just called Wendigos in the Indian history. They were called by indigenous people. They were called Wendigos. However, there is many different uh, religions where they show up.
Yeah, and my mom has said this many times, and she said that we have Indian in our blood as well. I don't know how true it is, because she's only ever said it, and I've never seen any proof on it. My girlfriend, like, she's got Indian in her. Her grandmother on her dad's side, I believe, was Indian and stuff like that. Like, I know a lot of people that have Indian in their blood, but it doesn't. That shouldn't be the determining factor on whether or not you can do anything with Wendigos. That's such a weird mindset.
It's it's not the thing of using Wendigos that is the racism. Uh, it's the name that is considered a racism. That, for some people, the it's not the creature,
Mm-hmm.
it's the name. That is what is considered racist. It's the name
Oh,
because
okay.
if I'm not mistaken, it was given it what doesn't actually have that name, and in Indian culture, it was considered you if you
You
guys
okay?
chill out. If you said the name, you were considered summoning it, and it had a different name. And but not humans. Uh, Obviously, settlers came in and saw the culture and started using it against indigenous people.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the history behind it.
Or like
But
Wendigo grab a banana.
yeah, saying the name is taboo. Exactly like Damien said.
It's not. Marcy just said that they've been called a racist slurs for being Mexican. That's the one of the main reasons I've stopped playing for a while nowadays. I just build maps. So yeah, I mean,
Unfortunately,
there's definitely racist in the game, which is
yes,
sad.
the people Ponytown is going through a point here where I think where everyone is trying to get their I think ow. I think people are trying to get their footholds back in the place because a lot of what I tell people is that a lot of new people are coming on. Because I only know this because I have a friend over in the species area who did
Mm-hmm.
not know it was a species area. They did not know that this was where species met. They did not know that it was always where species met, and it had been there for pretty much since 2016.
Yeah.
And uh, they new people are coming on, and they're bringing because we had basically weeded out a lot of that. We had weeded out. I think in 2022, it had been weeded out,
Like
and
the racist, like a lot of
not the
racist, or like what?
basically homophobia, racism. It had been
Oh
weeded
yeah.
out
Okay. Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Ponytown for a very good while. But then a new wave of players has hit the server, from what I've seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, the players. The thing about Ponytown is it's like it's constantly growing. I mean, they have like hundreds of thousands of players every day. It may not look like it because anytime you play, it's got like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people in any given server, but those people are changing out constantly throughout the entire
Yeah,
day. It's not just those same 2,000 people all day long. That wouldn't make any sense. It's just it's constantly being changed out with different people throughout the day, and that ends up counting up quite a bit, and stuff like that. I mean, they're oh shit. I don't know how many downloads do they have on their app on the App Store. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
they're constantly getting waves and waves, but there has been, from what I can tell, there has been an insurgence in the wave, and I think that wave came in, and that brought in some of the fills we have to still work out.
Yeah. Uh. Okay. So first the app itself. It apparently has 1 million plus downloads, which
And we
is
definitely don't have that many
yeah.
players.
I was gonna say I don't think there's that many players. Fucking hell. It does say 1M plus on it, like on downloads. So it's got like 1 million downloads apparently. It's got 68,000 reviews, 4.5 stars. But what a lot of people have said to me is that Ponytown's gonna die because the TikTok trend is gonna die, and then when that TikTok trend for Ponytown dies, Ponytown will die. And I'm like, every single time I hear that, I kind of chuckle to myself a little bit because Ponytown's been fine without any TikTok boosts. But that TikTok boost is probably where a lot of these new players is coming from that you're talking about, is like TikTok and like YouTube Shorts and stuff like that.
Yes, I've noticed there's a lot more people uh with TikTok profiles coming on,
Mm-hmm.
and they're increasing the numbers of people on.
The whole reason why we even have a Chinese server in Ponytown is because of TikTok. TikTok Ponytown exploded on like China TikTok, and so they had a huge number of Chinese players go on like the 18 plus English server and like the Russian server and all these different servers and stuff like that. And because of how many there were, they decided to just give us a Chinese server, and so they did, and that's why we have one now. So TikTok, like bringing in more players, just feels weird to me because it's clearly been doing that for a while. Um, so once that stops, I mean, it's not gonna really change anything.
Yeah, once it stops, nothing's going to change. It's going to keep influxing. We're going to keep having new influxes of players. And yes, there is going to be bad players that come in,
Yeah,
but the thing is, we have to slowly work. The thing is, Ponytown needs to be more of a community. It needs
yeah,
to come together and understand that yes, there's going to be bad people, but we have to worm them out.
yeah. I mean, we got it.
We have to worm out those
That's
bad
the
people.
thing about it is I feel like that would be helpful with like the reporting system if we ever get one that's like more friendly to players that don't know how to report players, because then obviously there'd be an increase in like false reporting and stuff like that, but it probably would be super helpful because then players would be able to report easier and actually gather the evidence and everything like that and send it all at once. um, and then
Very much
it
so.
would be easier for everyone together as a community to weed out the bad players, like the pedophiles, the racist, the homophobic people, everyone, just like all the bad people, just get them out.
Very much so. Let's see if I can.
3173 said TikTok is the one that's killing Ponytown. It's gonna slowly recover once TikTok dies.
Okay, trying to think.
Want to narrate Ponytown
Now that
trauma.
there's a bunch of people here, I wanted to say that I noticed, yes, as we were talking about earlier, I noticed in the comments, a lot of people just seem to comment on the fact that Ponytown had changed, and not the fact that you were saying that it's mostly changed the way you enjoy playing,
Mm-hmm.
and not that it's, and instead started talking about it was just different and they didn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
Which, yes, that's completely fair. You can not enjoy something,
but to say it's
but
just bad now is just dishonest at best, and uh, something else that works. I don't know.
very much so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of comments on that video. The one where I talked about Ponytown changing and stuff like that. A lot of people gave like full paragraphs and stuff like that. One person, awesome, Yena, they comment a lot. They're great. They've been here for a while. They said it feels harder to make friends. The only time I wasn't ignored in recent times was when I walked around with a fancy pants pony. I tended to be the player to make the initiate and try to interact with other players, whether it's some sort of role play or some conversation about the most obscure crap on the web. For some reason, in recent years, though, everyone feels more unapproachable. That was that comment.
Yes, it. I will admit, yes, it has become I started out that way. I started out I couldn't
Mm,
approach anyone.
I
I
did
always
too.
felt nervous. I always felt nervous to talk to people. And it's just uncomfortable. But the th- the thing is, the best thing you can do is find your place.
Mm-hmm.
Like find a place you feel comfortable with. Like just below us is
The My Little Pony area, kind of.
that's a good place to RP, and you have to learn the styles. Like for example, let me switch over right quick to a different character. Right here, this character. I had to put in their name a check mark for RP because a lot of people don't understand that if you don't have that in your character name, they don't think you're wanting to roleplay.
See, I feel so weird about that though, because the whole point of adding like the statuses was so that you could find people to roleplay with or chat with or whatever like that. That's how it's supposed to work. But as you mentioned earlier, people don't hardly hover over names and stuff like that anymore. Which
Yeah, people don't want to
I didn't
hover over.
really notice that until you pointed it out. Now I'm starting to think about all those cases where it's like, why didn't they know about this character or this or that? It's just because they just didn't click on them or hover over them.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to hover over everything, so you have
Mm-hmm.
to. And a lot of people don't want to turn on highlighting. I don't understand.
Yeah,
No one will turn on highlighting.
yeah,
But if if they turned on highlighting, they could see. But again, a lot of people just want to sit in their little groups.
yeah.
And yes, we as a Ponytown community, we need to be more open with each other. And a key thing to that is just figuring out where each of us go. And a lot of people say that each place has its own area. Really, there is no area aside from where devs sit.
Yeah, they sit like over there to the right, over there by those pools. There's probably one over there
Yes,
now.
that's
Is there any over there?
yeah. There's
Oh,
a couple of them,
there's Octavia and
but
Anno. I don't know if that's actually them though, because they don't have the tags. The woes over there.
yeah, Murio's up there.
Is that how you say that? How do you say that? I always thought it was Mowo.
Murio. It's
Mulio.
like Mario, but with a Mew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I always thought it was like Mowo, though. I don't know why. That's how I've always read it. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I've ever said that, like, uh, like, out loud to anyone before, other than people in the room with me or whatever.
I think I only know how to say it because I've been in places where someone introduced me to them and they're like, "This is Mulio," and I asked if that's how you say their name, and they're like, "Yeah."
Okay. Um, but yeah, I mean that's one of those things. Like, there's all these different fandom maps, and I made a video about making my own because I thought it'd be really fun to do it and kind of just catalog what I've seen where people would like to go and stuff. But almost immediately it was like disregarded and like thrown to the side because people kind of move. They kind of go to different places, and whatever might be the Transformers area might also be the anime area the next day or something like that, or in a few hours or something like that, right? Like FPS people, they might not all hang out next to each other. There's like a TF2 area and like a Call of Duty area or something like that. But sometimes they just swap places and move around in different areas and stuff. So, as you said, there's no like really guaranteed place. There's places you're more likely to see people, but there is no guaranteed place. I remember talking about that with the bakery as well when it was introduced. I forgot which group it was, but they got really mad that their spot got taken over by a building, and they protested it or something. It was ridiculous.
Yes, I remember the protest of the library. It was insane. Uh, but I just Sky, hush, Bubby. My dog's on the bed.
You're fun.
It is very.
My cat's on someone's bed.
It's just I don't know what to do about the community because like we've been trying to. I've personally been trying to get more community stuff with my server, trying to get the community more together. Because recently we reached 5,000 members, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a good chunk of Ponytown.
Yeah, that is a good chunk of Ponytown. That was the thing of like, as my channel grew, I kept getting more and more subscribers from Ponytown, and so it started to feel a little bit weird because it started to feel like a pretty sizable chunk of the people that just played this game knew who I was and was watching my videos, and it felt super weird. It still feels super weird, and everything, but it's. I feel like a lot of people that subscribed back then probably don't even play the game anymore because the views have changed drastically.
And that's another thing that adds to it is you get those subscribers in that period, and they you start to believe they are for that specific game.
Yeah.
So you start making the videos over and over again, even again burning out that candle. It's really a tedious thing because I think I did this when I first started my YouTube. I streamed Minecraft over and over again. Again, I was like 14, 15. And I streamed it over and over again till it got it's just annoying, and it starts getting tedious and you don't want to do it anymore. I didn't play Minecraft till like 3 years ago when my friend was playing it PC, and I realized I had missed it. So it's something that's you start doing something for someone else, and you realize, hey, this is just it's like it's burnout is what it is. That's what it's called. Burnout.
Yeah, it's burnout.
The only thing that you can really do is find something that you would do for yourself, and because I think that's what like bigger YouTubers like Markiplier, Vanoss, things like that. I think Vanoss has actually said this every time he reaches a milestone. The numbers don't matter. What matters is having fun in the video. Because if you aren't having fun, what's the point in making a video?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I have fun with all of my videos. The only time I don't is when it's super, super difficult to do even the simplest things. And usually when that ends up happening, I just scrap the video altogether. Like the Skeleton in the Streets that I did recently, or the Skeleton Fortune Teller one. Those were like super difficult to do because like obviously I couldn't do fortune teller at docks, so I tried a couple of other places and it wasn't working any other places, and I just got a little bit frustrated with it. I was like, people are just keep spouting this discourse and stuff like that, so I'll just stop for now and go back to it later. And I did it a couple of times where I came back to it different times. Each time it happened and I was just like, I'm just gonna put that on hold for now. The same thing happened with Skeleton in the Streets though, where I kept going from person to person. Too many of them were AFK, and it was just taking forever to get even one reaction, so I just got frustrated and just said, fuck it, I'm not doing this one. So I just canceled it, and then I haven't done either of those in a while because of that.
Sorry, family, but I understand what you mean. It's Ponytown does. It's obviously repetitive because it's mostly a chat-based game right now. And if we don't, and yes, it's going to take a while for things to come because you can't rush programming. Programming and coding is very much something that takes time.
And
I find it funny every time.
I mean, they've been trying to hire like other programmers and stuff like that as well. So hopefully, like once they get more of them in, things will speed up a little bit. Obviously, it probably won't speed up a huge amount or anything like that, but it will speed up a little bit.
I find it funny every time people are just like, we just got mains, and already I'm seeing suggestions in my Discord. New mains.
Yeah. I did a poll shit not too long ago, um, where I asked people, what do you want more? Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, it wasn't that. It was you only get one added to Ponytown. One of them was new mains, one was new clothes, new placeable objects, and the last one was new gameplay mechanics. Can you guess which one won that poll?
Mains.
Mains by 56%. um, Surprisingly, new gameplay mechanics got in second, which I thought that one would get like dead last. But new gameplay mechanics would definitely lead to more mini games, either ones made by players themselves, like I have done, or just straight up mini games themselves.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
agree.
weird that
I
people
agree.
don't want that, and they want more mains, more customization. Customization is like
I
the thing people want more than anything.
I think what people have started to see Ponytown as is a character creator that you can walk around and talk with. And I don't think people understand that it's not supposed to just be a character creator. This is going to be an actual game.
Yeah, exactly, and that's another thing too. Is like a lot of people don't realize that it's alpha. If you go to there, it's very clearly listed as alpha, 0105.1 alpha. It says that at the bottom. I guess it's kind of hard to see, but like whenever there's another update or something like that, it always says it's alpha at the top with the update number and everything like that, because it's been an alpha. I mean, it's been an alpha for several years, but it's in alpha. It's not even in beta yet. I don't even know if we will get beta. I feel like we'll go straight from alpha to release.
I don't know. All I can hope is yes. Oh, people don't know that. Yes, Ponytown. If you look
Yeah,
at the Patreon, Pony, have you? If any of you have ever played Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, things like that, Ponytown is based around those games. So it's going to be a game where
I think they
no, it's
actually,
not a funky
I think
back
they
room.
actually changed that description a little bit, because that description was like when they first made it or whatever.
I know they are still basing it around Stardew Valley. That much I know, like the designs and everything from Stardew Valley. But having that, it's really not supposed to just be a chat room. It's going to be have gameplay. It's
Yeah.
going to have all that. I think that's what people forget when they keep asking for the mains and everything, is that
Mm-hmm.
there is still some stuff coming. There
Yeah.
is gameplay. There is going to be actual things to do, similar to how Ash's Town does things. There's going to be actual things to do. It's just taking longer for Ponytown because everyone, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've talked, uh, tier 3 and tier 4 people do. They try to put focus on what most they have in the background, the mechanics they're trying to work, and then in the foreground they have what the players want, because they do
Mm-hmm.
try to listen to what players. They
Yeah.
actually really do listen to
They,
what
they,
players
they, they
want.
do an excellent job at listening to the players. Very, very good job at doing
Absolutely,
it. Sometimes
everyone
they,
I've
they
talked to has
decide
loved it.
to, put that off for whatever reason, or sometimes they can't do it right away. Sometimes other people are louder than others and they have to listen to them. But they do a very good job at listening to the community. Very good job.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's that there's no gameplay mechanics because they've put the player base ahead of what they
Mm-hmm.
need, which if we had gameplay mechanics, I'm sure a lot less people would be getting bored of the game because it's not
Yeah.
just which honestly we have you see that's why whenever the events when these new buildings come out, you see an influx of lag because
Mm-hmm.
suddenly there's more things to do. Suddenly there's new places to explore.
Yeah.
It's not that it's getting boring, it's just that the player base is getting a semi dried up, and also it's taking longer for the actual gameplay to come out, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're working on a mini game. And I think that's why they wanted more programmers so that some can
Yeah. And
focus on the gameplay and others can focus on the
I'm,
designs.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're working on, because they did get a programmer, not like from that last notification where it came up every time you played. We're looking for programmers. I don't know if they hired someone from that, but like several months before they hired someone. Um, he's really cool. I've seen him on Twitter like a million times. Let me see if I can remember what his name is or see it. Bit Assembly was his name. He's done
Oh,
stuff on
Bit.
Twitter.
Bit's a lovely person.
Yeah,
Bit is, if I'm not
like
mistaken, Bit is
he's awesome.
actually,
Like he's cool.
if I'm not mistaken, Bit is actually one of the new. Okay, no, he's a game designer
Yeah,
now.
game designer right there. Yeah, additional development game designer. He I mean, I don't know. I don't think I was ever told this, but based on what I've seen him do on Twitter and all this other stuff like that, it seems like he was added on so that they could work on mini games, and that's probably going to be one of his main things.
I'm
I
sure that is because based on what I've seen on
he's
of Bit makes a lot of cool little mini
yes,
pixel stuff, which would be
exactly.
very interesting if they bring in the pixels.
He's made like little tiny little platformers and stuff like that on Twitter, showing them off. He's asked me about some of the mini games I've made in Ponytown too. Suspiciously enough, around the time that he joined the team and everything like that, so it makes sense that that's most likely what's going on. I don't remember how long he's been on there, but he's been on there for a while. Um, so that's probably what's happening. I can't say for sure, obviously, even if I did know for sure, but that's most likely what's happening. Is that that's probably what he's doing while the other devs are working on some of the other stuff. And I think that's part of why they want more and more programmers, is so they can get like some of them to work on the main mini games and the gameplay and stuff like that, while they continue to listen to what people want and add these new mains and stuff like that, right? That's what it seems like. And going back to the Patreon, it does say they're working, including a town with mini games and various locations to hang out in, as well as ways to interact with other players and additional role-playing features. Last year, I believe they made this big post talking about it's the year of the town, and so that's why we got stuff like the bakery and the library and these different buildings and stuff like that, like the marketplace and stuff.
Yes, I do think this year is mostly going to be. I don't think people understand that this year is mostly going to be building places, getting the places set up, and then obviously little updates here and there, and obviously care updates. But they literally tell us what they're going to be updating on, and this year it is going to be mostly the town where they get, because now it's actually a town with a library, a bakery. I forget the other places.
The marketplace.
The marketplace, yes. And I'm sure they're going to do some. I hope to God they do something with Spawn to make it interesting, because right now it's just
I've said that a couple of times recently, probably in a couple of different videos recently. It's like, man, I kind of hope they do something with Spawn, because it's just it's so sad now. They've updated it once with the first big map expansion, but I really hope they do something with that, and I definitely want to see something closer to the beach, because if you look at the map, like at any given time, if you're a supporter and you have like the mini map that they have, you can scroll and you can see that everyone is just in the town, and that's it. There's basically no one at the beach or in that lower half or in the bottom right corner even. There's never anyone in those places because there's nothing down there but a beach, and that's it.
Very, very much so. There's never, because sometimes when I'm going, like I said, I do investigations around Ponytown. Call me the Ponytown CIA, if you will.
Ponytown CIA.
That's what I've been called. I go around and there's never anyone at the beach. I noticed it. I get confused by it. What happened? Why did I get disconnected?
When they added the beach for the first time, I was so certain, so certain that like regiments and species based on that beach would appear and they would be there all the time. And then it didn't happen, and I was a little bit disappointed because I really expected that to be a thing, and in the map just like not really much happened there and stuff like that. And then some of the other places which every tester and everything like that at the time was allowed to go on and kind of make suggestions and kind of sketch out ideas for the map at the time when they were doing that big map expansion. And some of the stuff that we worked on we were super proud of, and then it just happens and it's like, okay, well, no one's ever going there, but it's cool anyway. I would love to see reasons to go to more places. So if they do add mini games, I would very much love it to be like things way down or something like that, right? That'd be great.
If they added dolphins, that would be very interesting. But what I want for Ponytown is for us to expand essentially let the community expand, but understand that we are still a small. Not everyone is together. This is
Hmm.
why, for a while, I don't know if anyone knew, but the co the not the co- is it the coalition?
The
Uh,
Species
so
Coalition.
yes, it's not a species coalition anymore. It is just the coalition. We
Hmm.
were trying to I'm actually a part of it now because they are expanding to be include Ponytown groups, Ponytown places, Ponytown regiments. And the
Hmm.
only reason that the regiment thing didn't work out is because some regiments didn't, and a certain regiment didn't agree with some things that with the way Pink spoke, which is understandable. Not everyone understands how people speak and how people are, but the coalition has become a place where all groups are welcome, and
Yeah.
it's
Well,
we're basically trying.
that should just be default for the game as a whole, in groups as a whole. I think is just to be inclusive to everyone.
We've basically brought on everyone that can be brought on, and I know me and Pink are trying to work to make the coalition a big hub for Ponytown groups so that we can all work together,
Hmm.
and when everything needs to happen together, like big parties, big celebrations, everyone can get together and suddenly all have this one triangle that we all know what's going on. And so there not a lot of people, because a lot of times, just like what's happening now, there are people seeing a streamer on here and don't like there being a streamer somewhere. And
Huh?
it
You cut out for a second.
right, like right now, there's people that have been running away because they see a streamer's present and they don't like that there's a streamer present getting people all around here.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
if we had a if we had a way to keep everyone under this, not really keep them under an umbrella, but basically give them an umbrella of information
Hmm.
so that we can all talk about what's going on. And here is what's going to be going on today. Here is a group that's
I,
going
I
to be
do
operating
I do
around.
want to say that feels a little bit weird though. Like with any, even if it's something small or even something like this where like someone's streaming it, it does feel weird that that would need to be something that everyone knows about. I understand that, you know, like as many people knowing as possible is obviously a good thing, but it does feel weird because then it's almost like everything that's done has to go through some kind of process. Obviously, that isn't the case, but it does feel weird. Um, the way you're describing it, at least to me, it feels a little bit weird.
I describe things weird, but uh, I'm just describing it as that way. Uh, if we knew what all was going on, like when people were going to be having big groups
Mm-hmm.
and when there was going to be big people, like a lot of people active, no one would get, not a lot of people would,
You okay?
and that way, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm losing my train of thoughts.
You're fine. You're fine.
If we had a way to know when bigger things were going to occur, then it would be easier for everyone to know where things are. So that if you wanted to be away from a big group of people or a big parade of people, you could know,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if I go down here, it's less likely that I'll be like stepped on and everything. Or if I go
There's
in here, there's less of a chance for that.
I've always said this, and that's probably why a lot of my Ponytown videos are super informative. But the more information, the better. Almost always, at any given time, the more information you have, the better things are. So
Yes.
I love that as an idea of like anytime anything happens, everyone has the potential to know that that's happening before it happens and be able to participate in it. But like I said, it still feels a little bit weird because like if I stream, I may just like randomly decide to stream. I may just be like, I'm in the mood to stream. Let's stream or something like that and go on a Ponytown. I don't want to have to like make a bunch of announcements and tell people ahead of time that I'm doing it or anything like that. Which, yeah,
I don't think for like streams like this that it should be like that. I think it's
yeah,
just like if you're having a big celebration of something,
mm-hmm,
I was hoping to hold a 5K celebration, but if I did that, could mean that there would be a lot of lag on the server,
Mm-hmm.
and there would possibly be a lot of people upset about it.
Yeah, I
And
see exactly what you're saying though.
so, like, big celebrations like that could be announced and have it said that, hey, this is gonna be when a bunch of people are active, and so that we don't have to deal with everyone. Because usually, whenever those happen, I've noticed there's an influx of reports that these people are raiding, these people are doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah, exactly. Which
That way
that's,
we could avoid raiding reports.
I mean, that's gonna happen regardless, because again, of like streamers like myself or these other big names that just decide to stream randomly without being super involved in the community. There was the Quackity one that happened not too long ago. It kind of happened by accident, from what I understand. There was Miss Breezy that happened. Those were a couple of names that I remember that they showed up when they decided to stream, and so many people showed up, and it was like this big deal. The game was super laggy. There was a lot of reports and people upset about it and stuff like that. So it's still going to happen, but that would help so much with something like a big 5K celebration like that, or any of these other number of things. Even just like a big species meetup or like a big regiment meetup or something like that. Although at the same time, a lot of cases when stuff like that happens, people end up just going to the event server and doing a big event there and making a big deal about it with that. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
that is
part of
fair.
like the main thing with the event server was for these cons and stuff like that during COVID to be able to host their con virtually online. That was their original premise. It's kind of changed slightly since then, from what I understand, but that's kind of what that's for, is these big events. Obviously, in some events like your big 5K special, it's probably a lot nicer to just do it here, because then it's the base game and everything like that. Unless you wanted to do some kind of big stream with music or whatever else, customize a big map. Um, but yeah, I mean I'm on board with that, but it's the like yeah, I mean I'm on board with it. I don't really have much issue
Yeah,
with it.
I I guess I might have to go here in a minute because I think my goats are out, which is lovely. Uh,
Not the goats.
I guess the basis I want to go over with this is I do understand that if you are having a burnout with Ponytown, it's it. I just felt like with the video, it was putting a lot of things on little different things when it was instead a multitude of things, which could have made a
Yeah,
lot.
it's definitely a multitude of things that kind of combined to make Ponytown just feel like a totally different place to me.
Which is probably what uh I know you like to, whenever it comes to your videos, you like to be short and sweet with them. Sometimes you might have to go in depth with things because otherwise it might feel like things are different than they were, because I know a lot of people I talked with about this said it felt like there was some excuses being made instead of the actual meat of it, which was you having burnout with this and just essentially a break from Ponytown. Which
Did you cut out there?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I cut out.
You said cut. You said break from Ponytown or something like that, and then you just went silent. So I wasn't sure if that was the end of your sentence or not.
Oh yeah, that wasn't the end of my sentence.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I also wanted to kind of highlight a little bit of like how it's weird that this happens so much in Ponytown, but not like VR chat or Minecraft lobbies or Call of Duty lobbies and stuff like that. When it comes to this huge discourse, but I think part of that is because Ponytown is so chat based.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's that Ponytown is chat based, while those are gameplay based. You can get your feelings out through gameplay. You can shoot people in the head in Call of Duty. You can go beat up a bunch of mobs in
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft. You can just get your anger out through that. But whenever it comes to chat based games, you can't do that because you're just stuck in this one chat staring at this
Mm-hmm.
and just like, I'm going to yell at you until I feel better.
I think like I think that's why Ponytown is very much called like Twitter the game. It's because if we're comparing these games to social medias, when it comes to TikTok, you can watch stuff. When it comes to YouTube, you can watch stuff. When it comes to Instagram, there's lots of art and images and stuff like that that can fill your eye holes or whatever. But when it comes to Twitter, pretty much it's just chat. Like that's 90% of it is just chatting because you just make a tweet, you just say something. Of course, there's videos and artwork and stuff on there, but it's mostly just chat. And so I think that's why it gets compared so much to Twitter, is because they're both essentially just chat games, even though one's more of a social media.
They're both just chat games right now. This is why I brought up that hopefully in the future Ponytown will have gameplay that if you're frustrated with someone, you just leave and go play a game while you get over emotions.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to the chat, this is a little bit older, but Dovercraft said to make Spawn a train station. That was something that I've also suggested in the past. It'd be really nice to have like a train tunnel there, and then have obviously a train there, and that's where you get off at. That's where you spawn at, or whatever.
That would be very interesting. I saw that comment.
Alice said, I hate people that get mad when streamers stream and mind they business. I know a streamer on PT that gets unnecessary hate. I don't know. There's a lot of streamers and stuff like that get hate. I've gotten hate a lot in the past before too, just because I stream or just because I make videos. Dovecraft also said, I love these types of talks. I have talks like this with my sister. Gets your brain thinking. Yeah, it's nice to kind of sit down and just have like a big talk about something. I used to do that all the time with my brother. Then there's Reddit and Tumblr. Yeah, there's Reddit and Tumblr, which they're their own things.
This is what I want my channel to be. That's why in my channel you have the moderation thing, and obviously I've gone off for a while because I was moving, I was getting everything set up. I'm still getting everything set up, and I've been moved for a couple months now. I have like no place to record, no place to do anything, and obviously I'm having to run outside every couple minutes because chickens or goats are doing stupid stuff. Plus, I don't have much Wi-Fi. I don't have much Wi-Fi to record because I live in the woods.
Yeah, you're probably using like satellite internet or something. Satellite internet's garbage. I hate.
Yeah, and I also right now I'm going with my hotspot.
Yeah, I used to have satellite internet. Whenever it was cloudy, it wouldn't even have to rain or nothing. It'd just be cloudy, and it's like, oh, you wanted internet today? I'm sorry, it's cloudy.
God forbid the power go out. It takes days for it to get fixed.
Squitter Hyena says that it's because most users are actually underage and claim to be older. That's why things the way they are. There is definitely a lot of people that lie about their age. I've seen that so much on the 18 plus server. It's insane. It worries me a lot whenever I see it, where someone's like, "Oh, I'm 13," and I'm like, "Why are you here? Why are you here? This is so bad." I literally ran into
someone the other day that decided to be stupid, and they were like trying to ask for roleplay and everything, and they're like, I'm like 10 and everything, and then they came back and said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, that was my sister on my computer." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. And that's I've seen stuff like that before, where people are like, "Oh, my little sister got on my account and said some stuff, and now I'm banned. What can I do?" and stuff like that. Well, I'm like, I mean, you could try to talk to them, but I don't think you're gonna do anything.
The amount of people I have in my server that come on, and Inspect can attest to this, they come on and say, "Well, I was just goofing around and saying some things. I said a slur, but I promised I could claim it." Yeah. And I'm just over here like, so you're admitting you did a bad thing, and you're wanting them to unban you.
Exactly. I've seen people, say their age and they're like 9 or like 13 or something like that, and then a lot of people just immediately are like, "Whoa, what the fuck are you doing here?" And they're like, I was just kidding. That's not actually how old I am." I'm like, well,
it doesn't. I will tell people here, it doesn't matter if you are kidding. It does not matter if you are kidding.
Yeah.
If you say, "I am so and so age," and someone reports that, because I have an adult friend in the species lead who was joking around and said, I think they said I'm 9. They were joking, honestly joking around because they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They have their ID and everything that says they're 21 and or over. And because of that joke, and because they couldn't properly get a picture of their ID, they
Yeah.
are stuck on the PG server. Do not joke around about this stuff. It's not
Yeah.
funny.
I think
I don't know why people
like
joke around about it.
I think the only case where you're gonna be like understood as being a joke is if you say you're like 3 or 2 or something, because obviously you're not typing and playing this game if you're 2 or 3 years old. That's literally impossible.
I am a
Um,
fetus. I am recording this from inside the womb.
I'm a fetus. I mean, I've seen people say that, and whenever I see that, like I'm obviously they're joking because can't even read at 2, let alone write coherent sentences and everything else.
It's I know Ponytown needs a reconstruction, and it very much and the community base needs some form of cohesion. That word, when you stick
Coherent.
together. I can't say words anymore.
That's fine.
Because of the seizures. I can't say words
Yeah, I know.
anymore.
I know.
But everything we need something that gets everyone together so that we know how things are going and we can actually talk to each other and say, hey, this is something that needs to happen within the community so that because right now, every time someone new comes in, we turn them away because, in the best way I can describe it, everyone on Ponytown is basically a crackhead when you meet them.
Yeah, something that I have said for a long time is that Ponytown could use some kind of community manager or some kind of like not necessarily face, but like a person or like a role, a job where they could like talk about all the news and all these different events that are happening and stuff like that. Because how it is right now, even after there's an update, there's sometimes a delay whenever they make a tweet about it, and they don't always tweet about the updates. If it's something small, like they added a few bug fixes or something like that, they still won't tweet it. And maybe they don't have to, but it's still nice to see Ponytown say something whenever something happens, if that makes sense. Or like these different events and stuff like that. Sometimes they will only say it when it starts or like right before it starts, unless it's something huge like Ponyfest or something like that, where they'll be like, "Hey, come in this weekend. Ponyfest is happening." But when it's something that's still kind of big, but not as big as something like that, they don't always say anything. And sometimes, again, I think it would be super nice and super good for them to just be like, hey, this is what we're currently working on. What do you think? What are your thoughts and opinions on this? I know some of that goes towards their Patreon members, where they have their own exclusive Discord server, and they're like, hey, here's a sneak peek at what's happening. I've always liked that, but I've always kind of hated it at the same time, because I feel like that information shouldn't just be restricted to the Patreon members. I feel like everyone should have the right to know what they're working on and provide their feedback, if that makes sense. Like they could talk to more of the communities.
Usually the Patreon members are more than willing to like inform you of.
Yes,
I've learned because we have a lot of Patreon members in our server, and they are usually more than willing to say, "Hey, they're working on."
Mm-hmm. But you good? Did you cut out again?
Yeah. No, my dog's are just being brats again.
Oh.
But usually the Patreon members are all more than willing to tell you, hey, they're working on this, so you don't gotta be so angry. And again, with someone that could be a community manager, I would do it. Indu knows I would do it.
Yeah, I mean, I have always been up for doing that as well. I mean, I did like the Ponytown news segments like every week for a while. But then it was just like this huge break where like nothing was happening really, and so I couldn't really say anything because nothing was really happening. And then finally, a bunch of stuff would happen at once, and then I'd be like, okay, there we go, let's make it, let's do it. And then there would be another break about a month, and even in that break, stuff would happen, but it would be so small that I couldn't do like a big video on. So I would normally just tweet about it or something. I eventually stopped doing it because it kept being that way over and over again, and it never really went anywhere. Um, but I mean, there was also stuff I wasn't allowed to say or stuff I wasn't allowed to do because I have more information than I'm allowed to say, but I can't say it obviously because I'm not allowed to. Um,
Yeah, that's the same with me. I have
yeah,
information, but I'm not allowed to say all the information.
there's
And I'm not even a
definitely
Patreon. I just run
yeah
things.
there's definitely like information that you know that I don't, and vice versa probably, or maybe we both know the same amount of stuff. Who knows? Um, but it would be nice if they elected like you. I'd honestly rather it be you, to be honest with you, because that's a lot of responsibility. And I have my videos and stuff to worry about, plus all this other stuff. Um, but it would be nice if they were able to like let you just go loose with certain information, um, and just kind of talk about what they're working on as they're working on it or whatever else like that. Even if it's something small, like hey, Easter, it's gonna die in like tomorrow or like in a week or something. You better collect those eggs while you can. Or hey, Easter's coming. That's what we're currently working on. Should we add a new egg type or something? Like just these different, like just small little posts, tweets, whatever it has to be, would be so nice.
Little cryptic tweets would be interesting too
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it would get the community involved and make them
Hmm.
theorize about things like something simple like the Easter bunny's collect his eggs tomorrow, get he can, and
Hmm.
then having things like just small things like, oh, which of these eggs do you think would be involved in the next update?
Hmm.
Which of these, having like votes and polls and cryptic tweets about certain things
Yeah,
could get the community really involved.
that's how like Minecraft does it. That's how they do it. They have those like cryptic tweets or like specific tweets that they make where they're sharing information and stuff like that. They share test footage sometimes of like something that they're currently working on. Even if they always explicitly state too in those tweets or whatever else like that hey, this probably won't get added to the game, but here's what I'm working on. Like the different devs and stuff, they'll say different stuff. Um, and then the Minecraft channel itself, the Minecraft Twitter account
Yeah.
itself, will
Those
say
those type of things
the remaining announcements.
are the things that would be good for a
Yeah,
community
yeah,
thing. Which, like you said, I would be more than willing to run something like that because do I run a big server? Yes,
mm-hmm.
but I have people beside me who stand there and are a great team.
Yeah,
And I would probably rely on those people to help me as well with I would probably rely on a good team to help me with a community uh Twitter as well because this community I love when they publish a new update and they put one of those little gifs on there.
yeah.
Those look really good. And if we
Those
could
are
do
really
more,
nice. They
and if we could do more of those little things,
it's
those on a community would be great.
yeah, the little gifts and stuff that they do. Also, Damien said Monster Hunter does the same thing, which yeah, a lot of games do that with like community managers and announcements and stuff. But with the little gifts and stuff, it's so much fun. I was there for like one or two of them before in the past, when I was more active as a tester, and it's just so fun to just kind of like see them like set it up and do their little thing or whatever. It's really fun. I was obviously never in any of them. Again, probably because I was a tester and they usually do like the devs and more main team
Yeah,
there. But
those are my new devs.
it was really nice. It's really fun.
Okay, I have enjoyed this, but I have to get going because I have to go
Alrighty.
check on every one of my animals.
Okay. You take care of your animals.
I will do my best if I don't get headbutted by a goat.
Uh, but yeah, is there anything anyone else wants to say before we close out in the chat or anything else?
Any questions?
Yeah, any questions at all? Even if it's
Is that-
unrelated to the discussion we had here today. Democrats that turf war for some reason.
Yeah, that is code over there. Someone asked, "Is that turncoat?" That's turncoat.
Yeah, that's turncoat. Yeah, they have had a bad
code.
reputation for a certain reason. I don't think YouTube would like me to say. Rhymes with speedo. Okay, wait, who though? You're not talking about turncoat, are you?
Oh no, I think they're talking about the okay. Pink. You're talking about pink. I already addressed this earlier,
yeah,
but let me
talked about that earlier.
let me go ahead and squash this. I'm gonna be making a video with pink whenever I get the chance.
Legends.
And I'm going to go ahead and crush it right now. The theories about Pink being a pedo are not true. When those theories came out, he was 17 and he was dating a 16-year-old because they were a couple months apart. Pink isn't a pedophile. he literally is not dating anyone. And then I also get yelled at saying that Pink is trans. Pink is not trans. He's a cis gay man. He's a very gay man.
Yes.
And I plan to do a video on him with him there addressing every single document that's been made with him. And a lot of those documents have been made by ex-members who worked with him because they got upset that they got kicked off. 2 people, and I'm not going to say their names, but one of them was upset because he got kicked from the team for being very, very rude to newcomers in the community, and the other one was kicked because they were a super feminist who thought all men should die.
Damn. Like Box just said too, though, they're gonna make a video about a Pink Lumen and everything like that. Their channel is pinned on this chat. You should be able to look at the top of the chat, and it will say Box in his channel, and then it will have the link. If you guys want to subscribe to them or whatever like that, just go ahead and do that whenever. But I just wanted to say that.
Okay, Pink can get passive aggressive at times. He's not really aggressive. That's just how his tone is, unfortunately. And the abusive stuff, none of the group is rude. The Lumens are actually very, very, the Lumens are actually a very open group. It's all just a bunch of gays looking to have fun. I'm not even lying. It's just a bunch of gay flashlights looking to have fun.
That's kind of what a lot of the ponytown community is, though. It's a lot of LGBTQ plus members and stuff like that. There's a lot of gays here, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's they're actually really easygoing. Some of them they'll hear one word. Some people have a lot of selective hearing, and they'll hear one word and start being rude. And then, but every time I'm there for a meeting, if there's something going on, I will sit down, have a talk. Like we had a issue with a meeting spot because another group of people had been using it, and there hadn't been many meetings because some of the admin staff had been away. And I came on, sat down, I was like, okay, let's talk about this. And now I'm really good friends with the person who was having an issue with them there. And now I'm really good friends with them. They're actually really... No, okay, the Ghost fandom? No, that's what I'm saying. That's the fandom. Thank you for reminding me. The Ghost fandom is that's not Spectrum Flash. No, that's Spectrum Feather. The Ghost fandom is the one that they have made peace with. It was a bit of a kerfuffle, but now I'm actually really good friends, and we actually talk every time they go to weekly.
Sorry, you cut out again. You said like every week.
Every week that we go there, with the Ghost fandom there, we actually a lot of us talk with the people there with the meetings because we've actually chilled over our things. And also, if anyone called them autistic, but Pink is autistic, as am I. It's not meant to be rude. It's how do people do? I forget. There's a joking way people say autistic that whenever they are autistic. Pink has a form of it. I have a form of it. That's kind of like how you say, like when people say autistic screeching. That's like I said, I will do an entire video.
I'm not racist. You proud of you? We're proud of everyone who's not a racist. Okay, Rubik's Cube, you're good. You're good. Sorry, the person in Ponytown said that. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it will be scrubbing floating around the species. It's very much going to be a difficult video to make. I want to address that's what I want to do. With my channel, I want to make videos on actual things that have been proven false, but people still hear them, and sometimes they don't know that they're true or false. And because literally I've had to talk to people about, hey, none of those things have been proven true, and they were made by people that were literally seeking to do harm. But I understand that a lot of people still hear the rumors, and that it can be difficult to weed out what's true and what's false with Ponytown.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But I don't want to do any harm with what I want to do. I just want to make things better
Mm-hmm.
in the Ponytown community, bring everyone together, get everyone on the same pages, or at least try, I guess I should say, try to get everyone on the same pages. Getting everyone together on the same page will not be an easy.
No, it's never easy to do anything like that. It's often worth it, though.
Yes. But that was probably going to be all from me. I have to go wrangle a goat.
Alrighty.
I do not recommend this. It's a very difficult task.
Alright, well, I guess I'll see you later, Boxing, and Spec and everything. And yeah, I guess I'll see chat. I'll sit here for a couple of minutes afterwards and respond to chat for a minute, since we didn't really get to do that too much during this because we were having so much of a discussion.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, I'll see you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Will there be a return of a Camp Bad Place type series? I don't know. I've thought about it. I made a map and everything, but I don't think I actually finished the map. I've thought about it before. I want to, but at the same time, it's like I've had the same issue every time, and the same issue is going to happen every single time, even moving forward into like trying it. No matter how many times I try it, the same issue is going to happen, and that's scheduling. Everyone has different schedules and stuff. It'd be a lot easier if I had like a lot of friends in real life, and we could all like easily schedule it out because we know each other's schedules a lot easier. I'd very much love it, but I don't know if I will. Sincerely wish you luck in a new organization. They fly around the species. It's gonna be hard to scrub. Yeah, you said that for Box earlier. I would love a platform for launching off of in general, as long as it's not lorded over by someone with a stick up theirs. Okay. Earlier, someone asked if I'd be a community manager. I mentioned it earlier as well, but you asked it afterwards, so you may have popped in after it. But I'd love to, but I feel like it's too much responsibility for me. I'm busy as it is with other videos and everything else. I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I'd love it for Box to do it though. So I don't know. Like you said that while Box was here, so I don't know if you were asking either of us. But I'd love it if Box did it. I think Box is the perfect person for it. Ponytown needs stuff like in Club Penguin. They're kind of gonna have some stuff similar to Club Penguin because they're gonna have mini games eventually, in different areas to go to and stuff like that. PT needs a lot of things. There is dance emotes in like the event server. I'm still not sure why they never added it to the main game though. Yeah, I'm asking. Yeah, you can go ahead and ask in Ponytown too though. Puffles, but for PT. PT needs an election? Why does Ponytown need an election? It'd be easier to say what it just doesn't need. Yeah, that's kind of true. An election just for laughs? Who are we electing though? That's the real question. There was someone earlier asking about Discord as well. If you go to my channel banner and on my channel on the top right, there's a thing that's like Discord. Click the Discord thing and it'll show it. That's my Discord server though, not my Discord tag. Danny the Frogs are now double gay. Dang. I missed it. I missed the double gay frogs. What's your favorite tank? I don't have a favorite tank. I don't know that much about tanks. So, tank. The tank. The turtle. That's my favorite. It would take away the special feeling of servers probably. Also no music. There's music in Ponytown. Does that mean there's double water? Copy and Calamity character? I don't know who that is or what that is. Look at my name. They turned the fucking frogs gay. Betty Gravel? I don't know who that is or what that is. No idea. Yeah, take the turtle representation. Let's go. I feel like they made a lot of, like, a big deal about pets in early Gen 4, and then they just kind of stopped caring about pets later on. Don't worry, you can be a part of the triple gaying. We're gonna make him gay times 3. It's an American heavy tank destroyer. Okay. Turtles are nice. Calamity is the brown Pegasus. This one? Mm. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna call it on that then. The nickname I gave it was Betty Gravel because it was some. I'm gonna do something illegal. Fallout Equestria reference. That's why I don't know it. I don't know nothing about Fallout Equestria. Only tiny bits. Alrighty. Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know how I came across it, but there's a Fallout Equestria game. Yeah, I've seen it. I was gonna do a video on it a long time ago. If it's the same one I'm thinking of. Like the platformer one. I'm pretty new to Ponytown, and I gotta say I like your videos. Very enjoyable. Well, I hope you enjoyed this stream as well. A little bit more of a serious discussion. I feel like the problem is they made pets a big deal, but only for main 6. All the main 6 have a pet. Owl, cat, tank, angel bunny. Yeah, but at the same time though, like they just kind of stopped doing anything for those. But yeah, I guess that is it. There's a rainbow cat in the water. Thank you for coming to Danny and Box's TED Talk. Yeah, one more time. Their channel is, I mean, this is the channel right here, Boxer1113. Their thing is also in the top of the chat pinned, so you can also check it out there. They do more in-depth stuff, like longer videos and stuff about different stuff. Here's their about. But yeah, peace out.